Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Council. It's your girl, Cosette.
Lexi. And Rachel.
Ooh, we're in a different seat now.
We did a little switcheroo. We're switching
doing a little rotating musical chairs.
I feel so far from you guys, but also
near, but so
I really
far.
like this spot. Like
it's cozy, right?
Yeah, I like this.
Today we're talking about something that we were just talking about, we're super excited to be talking about, and that is love on a budget, romance without the receipt shock.
Ka-ching!
Opposite of ka-ching. I feel like there's this big...
Ka-ching?
I knew she was thinking of an
She
opposite.
was.
I feel like there is just a really big culture around overconsumption these days, and the idea
Bigger
of
is better.
and going to fancy dinners and all this expensive
Glamorous.
gifts and everything. And like money and expenses do not equal romance. In fact, I think the most romantic things are things that are just homemade and like planned on your own. So
Personal.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you, we'll go around, like, is there a specific memory or date that you either planned yourself or you had planned for you that was a low budget kind of self-planned thing that you really enjoyed?
Low budget.
Rachel's like, every date I go on is really
Every
expensive.
day. No. So I wouldn't say So I wouldn't say it was a date, but a low budget action that was given to me was me and my partner were away from each other, and we
Is this
couldn't.
about to get steamy?
No, not
Low
on
budget.
this episode. But we were away from each other, and he was on the East Coast, I was on the West Coast, and what was really nice was he actually sent a postcard over,
Aww.
and I got it in the mail, and I know it's not a date, but it was. It showed intention. It showed I was thinking about you. And it was probably a couple dollars. And it was like, wow, he's
That's really
thousands
thoughtful.
of miles away from me.
Yeah.
And he was still thinking about me.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing. I was like, and I'm going to keep this forever.
The
I love
Bachelor is
that.
very good at those little moments like that. Like
He is.
I know he's very good at the flowers and just like the little reminders, especially when you guys are apart. I feel like you both handle that very well with that intention and communication.
Yeah.
We do. We really do.
Yeah.
I'll think
We
on the
were-
date part.
Yeah.
No, but that suffices.
No, I think
absolutely.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what we're talking about, because the point of dating in general is to feel close and to feel that flirty excitement. It's that's what's fun about it. And so if you get those little reminders like that, that's like a date in itself. You're like, oh, I'm feeling good. Let's rekindle this. So
And also, I think sometimes in relationships there are financial pressures. Like, let's say your partner just lost their job, or you are in a really tight spot. I know that we all at some point have experienced that, where we're all like, oh my God, I want to be giving a lot to my partner, but it's not in my price right now. And I think it's just, there's a lot to say about breaking down. Even if I can afford a grand date, I would still rather do something at home, cozy, more intimate and important and meaningful for both of us. Lexi, can you think of a date or a situation?
I'm thinking, well, most recently, because we do this the most often, what's really fun for me and means the most to me is honestly when me and my partner can walk with our dogs either to a new park and explore a new park with our dogs, and then we decide what we want for lunch, whether that's okay, what do we have in the fridge? And thankfully I have a boyfriend that's really creative with the cooking, so we'll make an amazing lunch with breakfast vibes, such as omelets or pancakes, all with everything that's there. And you don't eat. Most of the time, we all have stuff in the fridge that we don't want to eat, and it's there. And when you two are making something together, it is so much fun, and it is such a special date. And that, to me, is one of my favorite times in how we spend time together is just a park and making, because we like late lunch. We're that. So
Side
that's
note,
always,
Lexi's love language is food. She loves
That's for
food.
sure, yeah.
She'll
if
fall
food
in
is
love.
involved, it doesn't matter where it's at. It's just feed me. And so
And I'll be
already
happy.
Tonight I'm we're getting pizza because I need pizza. As Rachel, I know Rachel's how to please Lexi. It's through pizza and food. And so.
It's
Pizza
easy.
and
It's
movies.
easy.
and
It's
books.
so easy. It really is. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy we're talking about this because you're right. Especially I felt this year we saw a lot on asking to be Valentine's, which there's a difference between making it special asking your already partner to be your Valentine. And then also the lengths that I was seeing it this year, which was like, this was before Valentine's Day, and they're getting balloons. They're taking them out to dinner. They're doing a scavenger hunt. Like, all of this just to ask them to be a Valentine, which should be special, should be meaningful. But I found like the amount of money and pressure that was put on that affected me as well. And I thought like, oh, what is he going to do for me? And that kind of, put a toxic mentality in myself, is like, better, more, like, we need to go out, we need to spend this, I need to get a new dress, I need to do that. And like all of the preparation that goes into a date as well is also a lot, especially I think for women, is like, we think about the outfit, we think about the makeup, we think about the shoes, we think about all
the hair, the
possible
location,
accessories that if you don't have money, you can sometimes look in your wardrobe and you're like,
I have nothing
what's
pretty.
going to make me feel special? And so I think for both parties, there's a lot of pressure to spend more and do more to stand out and make it memorable, when really we're talking about here is making those special moments, whether it's spending a lot or nothing at all, like a postcard. That's so sweet.
There's also just a lot of comparison with social media, and like I know when that trend was going around with asking people to be your Valentines, it's like, oh my god, this person just did this, what is my partner gonna do?
Exactly.
So that can be a really easy and vicious trap to fall into.
Well, because I know you have some really, I'm thinking of one specifically, but I know, would you like to answer a question?
I wonder which one you're thinking of, but something I'm thinking of is I love just like at home movie nights, and a lot of times I'll set the mood by lighting candles and turning on my neon lights, turning the overhead lights off.
Your place is such a vibe.
Oh, it's such a
So
vibe.
But I like my couch is from IKEA, and if you pull it out, it becomes a bed. Because
I
she spent
know.
some nights on that couch.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can pull it out, and it's a full bed, and I like to throw a ton of blankets and pillows and really make it cozy for a movie night. And then I went on a Disney cruise like last year, and as part of
Gosh, it was already a year ago.
yeah,
That's crazy.
we got a gift card to Lego and to go to like the Lego store on one of the days, and I got a ton of those like Lego flowers, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save these one time for when I have a partner I really want to do them with. I held on to them for the longest time, and then one time I was planning a date night for Mr. Tennis and I had set up, we were watching something on Netflix that we really wanted to watch. I forget what it was at the time, but I set up then the Lego flowers all over the table with the instructions, and I just remember feeling like it was a really special, fun, sweet, intimate night that really didn't cost anything. And when he saw it, he was like, oh, let's not use the instructions. Let's each try to build our own rows and see who can do it faster. And that ended that gamified it a little bit and made it even more fun. And it's a memory that I really love. But I was having this conversation with him and his friends the other night about how I was like, you know what, I really love flowers being given to me. And I feel like you both have given me flowers at some point. Like, it's something that my girlfriends would do a lot. But I feel like everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And I feel like I haven't gotten a lot of flowers in this relationship, which is fine. It's not that I need it, but it's nice. So we were talking about how I was like, yeah, I would love if I got flowers more often. And he was like, well, I've gotten you flowers for like specific occasions. And I said, yeah, but I love the like, why not
Random,
flowers?
yeah.
Just like because you were thinking of me. And I think he made some argument like, well,
There's a flower
just
right there, because that from me to you.
Thank you. See? But I was like, it's not like it's a big, I'm not asking you to buy a beautiful bouquet every time that's really expensive. Trader Joe's has really cheap flowers.
Shout out to Trader Joe's.
But if you don't want to spend any money, there's a lot of, they do like, people on TikTok do these little bouquet walks with their partner where they'll walk around the neighborhood and just make a tiny little bouquet thing and pick little flowers.
Like, you could pick a flower and literally give it to me and say, like, I was thinking of you, just like coming in.
This flower reminded me of you when I walked by it.
It may not, like, that easy. Love
Exactly.
it. Free.
Yeah.
Free. My
And
favorite
it's
word.
just- there's also something that I saw on TikTok where this guy would give flowers to his girlfriend from Trader Joe's or whatever, and every time he gave it to her, you maybe know this, he took one out and put it in his own house. So when that flower started to die, he knew that his girlfriend's flowers
You told me, actually.
That
and
is
I was
started to
like,
die, and that would be his sign to get new flowers. I'm not
again-
saying I always need flowers.
no, but like,
That's clever,
if they
though.
wanted to, they would. When you see stuff like that, you're like, what wavelength is he operating on? Like, that is, that's really
Exactly.
nice. But exactly, I think Trader Joe's, anytime someone's like, I can't afford it. And I'm like, I understand. I'm not asking you to do it every day or every week. Let's
I'm
find.
not asking for red roses.
I'm not asking for red roses.
Luckily, my flowers are my favorite flowers are the cheapest, which are carnations.
Look at
and
that.
they last forever. They're like $3.99 for a
Yes.
bouquet.
I love baby breaths. They're just so pretty.
Those
They
are
last a
pretty.
long
Those are
time,
the
too.
yeah, those little
The
ones.
teeny tiny ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but flowers. Flowers
Apart from flowers, let's talk about some other
Okay, wait.
budget-friendly.
Can I talk about the time I was thinking about
Oh,
with you?
yes.
Which I love movie nights. I agree with that. That is such an easy thing. And following up with having a specific movie or show that you want to watch, because that's also the difference between a routine movie watch versus here's a special time. We're going to watch this movie. It just came out to streaming or whatever, out of theaters. Or we're going to make this food to replicate the type of movie this is, whether it's like, an Italian movie or like a scary movie. Like
Yeah, I
making
love
something
matching
to
the
it. Yeah. Like there's so much fun involved with a movie night that you
Yeah.
can do right there at home.
I agree.
But one of the memories I was thinking about for you is one time you planned this beach picnic, like this beach thing with Y, and you brought the card game.
Oh my God, you need to remind me. I don't even really
Okay,
remember.
you brought a card game. Do you remember why?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
we're
I know
thinking.
who you're
Okay,
talking of.
you brought a card game that you played, I think, in the car at the beach, and then you went to have like a beach picnic or something.
Why do I not remember this?
Hopefully, I'm remembering this.
No,
right.
like it's kind of briefly coming to me.
I don't know. I don't know if he was late or something, but you did a whole drive to the beach. I'm pretty sure to Santa Monica.
I can't.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I
But,
can't remember.
but
with that
I have horrible
being
memory.
said, it's like, okay, you're setting the scene, and how much did it cost?
Yeah.
It wasn't too
Card
expensive
game
at all.
and a little road trip, and I think that's another great thing is
And sunset.
is picking and sunset already
Yeah.
put the mood for you. But like mini road trips, I think are also can be a really fun budget
I agree.
conscious trip. Is like even picking in your own city, and especially living in LA, there's endless things and places you can go for free just to check out. And there's really cool neighborhoods around here, and there's really cool museums, free museums. So we're fortunate we live in such a easy place to make those kind of drives
Yeah.
and like go down the coast and all right, let's sit on the beach. Like, let's go to a new beach. Let's do a new hike. Let's go.
Yeah.
That is so easy if
Hikes
people just
free,
did it.
easy,
Free,
fun,
easy.
romantic.
You
We
can
love
make your own coffee.
fitness.
Yeah.
If you don't want to buy me a coffee, that's cool. We can make it.
Love it.
You
I
just
love
mentioned so many great examples,
Yeah, like-
but I have a list here.
Yeah, I want to hear
Some fun creative date ideas that are either like under $20 or free. Picnic in the park. Love that. Trader Joe's has such affordable snacks.
They do.
Just throw everything
Yeah.
in, bring a blanket. It's cute, it's romantic. Even better, bring a card game. If you don't have a card game, literally just write down questions
that. Or
on
you can write it
pieces
to
of
us
paper.
because we have ton of card game options
Yeah.
for you guys. So don't
We'll
be
ship you
afraid.
the box with the return label done. No, but like even just writing down on a piece of paper different questions and making your own card deck.
I gave that
Yeah.
suggestion to my younger brother.
Oh, I love
And he
that.
went on a hike and was asking questions.
Oh,
'cause-
for the first date,
Yeah,
right? And she was
and-
like, too intense for her.
yeah, it was not the right girl. He was like, that did not go well, Lexi.
Oh
she
my
did not react well. I
gosh,
was like,
really?
those are good questions. Like, I don't know, with the right person, it won't be too
Yeah,
much. So
exactly.
But like it's easy. You don't even have to get a card game. Like you said, you can write down your own questions.
Yeah.
Something Cosette did the other day. This is a perfect example.
Lexi has the best memory, by the way.
Yeah, she does.
Cosette
Obviously,
did,
she remembers my last relationship more than I do.
No, Cosette with Mr. Tennis, she did a breakfast in bed thing, and she gave him a checklist, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Do you want to talk
Yeah,
about
I'll
it?
talk about it.
'Cause
Yeah,
that was a perfect
Now she
example.
remembers.
No, this is a
Oh, I
different
know.
story.
Yeah,
different one.
But yeah,
I hope
he
she does. It was not that long ago.
Actually, he made breakfast for me the other day because I was in such pain. But this story, I had this little like postcard from one of my favorite coffee shops in Burbank, and it had been sitting on my counter for the longest time. And so he was working from my office, and I was like, oh, I'm going to make him breakfast and I'm gonna make him a coffee and like serve it to him. And I didn't know how he wanted his coffee and how he wanted his food. I knew he was in meetings, so I wrote out a little menu that's actually hung on my fridge now. I wrote out a menu on the back of the postcard that said like, okay, first selection coffee, hot or iced, and then food, sweet or savory. And I think that those were the two options. And so I said, hi, like, welcome to Cosette's Cafe. Here's the menu. I'll be back to pick it up in a few minutes. And he was like, what? And then he checked off iced, but then he wrote less ice, please. And then he checked off sweet and savory. And I was like, okay, you get one of them. So I made him a little breakfast and iced coffee, and I brought it back. And then I brought him like a little dessert, which was just a little glass of kefir. And then I took the card back and I wrote like review. Like you can rate out of 5 stars the atmosphere, the service, and the food. And so he like colored in the stars. And it was just, I thought it was, I love doing tiny little things like that. I realized that I haven't like left him as many notes as I typically would. And that's something I want to get better at because I love leaving notes for people. But
I love notes.
Yeah.
Ugh, I love notes.
but he loved it. He was like, he was like, what the heck? This is so
Yeah,
cute.
but
And
something
so
like that
that's
is
something
just-
very small that is a way to turn something very simple like breakfast into a cute moment.
Yeah, exactly. Like your own mini breakfast date.
Yeah.
You didn't go to a restaurant, but like you had this moment throughout your busy schedules to do that.
You took a normal routine. And it's like, okay, we have to eat, but how could I, push this a step further?
Exactly. I'm a huge believer in just romanticizing everything. Like I love turning anything into romanticizing, whether it's a coffee walk or a date to the museum, a hike. Like there's always ways to build something in and make it a little bit more romantic and cute.
Thoughtful.
Yeah. So like home cooked meals, I would prefer always a home cooked meal over going out to a
I
restaurant.
love
I
home-cooked
love
meals.
home-cooked meals.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who doesn't. Of course, going out to eat is fun, trying new foods. I love food in general, but when you home cook something, you just have that intention and thoughtfulness behind it, and it matters less if something's good or like the best quality because you didn't spend, you're not looking at the check and you're like, that burger was okay, or
Yeah.
like that was okay. You made it, and
But
you
it's
have
great
the
because
memory
you
of
guys
making
made it together.
And so if it's
and it's
okay,
like,
you're
okay,
like,
you could get the
Yeah.
entree and I'll get like the appetizers. Let's
and
work
if it
hand
was
in
botched,
hand.
then you're like, whoa, that burger
Then we
is
can laugh about
overcooked,
it,
and we just
yeah.
laugh, and you're like, that's so funny, ha ha ha. I don't know, maybe we're romanticizing this in our head, but that's how it feels to me. I'm like, I don't think there's any meal that Mr. Right could prepare that would not work out, that I would be like, oh my God, this is why I wanted to go out to eat. Like, no one's
Well,
gonna
why would you wouldn't say that?
No,
You
but
wouldn't say that
Who
anyways.
would react? Right. I'm like, there's no way I would react that way. I'd be like, thank you so much for making this.
Yeah.
Like, this was so much fun. And every time we make food together, it turns out to be one of the most fun times. And I
I know
enjoy-
that's your favorite thing.
It's my favorite thing. So
an
I'm like,
activity in itself.
Easy date. That's why when I tell Mr. Right this, I'm like, it is very easy to plan a date with me. It's just let's pick a meal to make it together, and voila, you have a happy girlfriend.
Boom.
Like
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
it. Love on a budget.
Yeah,
Love on a budget. Love on a
Especially
budget.
like I love making a tortilla. That's like the one.
Yeah,
it's-
you do,
It's like
and
a family tradition, obviously, like in Spanish culture, that I just love making. And we did a little date night, Mr. Tennis and I, where I said I want to make one for you because he's also Spanish, and it was something important and special. It's my grandmother's recipe that I was really excited to make for him. And I guess in the past, like every time I had like made dinner with a partner, it was them sitting at my kitchen island and just talking to me while I cooked the meal. And I just remember I put out the potatoes and I put out the eggs and everything. And he was like, okay, like I'll do these potatoes. And I was like, what? And he's like, I'll peel the potatoes while you like cook the eggs up or whatever And I was like, oh, okay. And he actually was in the kitchen helping me. And we did another time, like early on, I was cooking something. He's like, okay, I'll work on the chicken. And I was like, what? Like there were actually 2 chefs in the kitchen
Little
for the
brain
first
shock
time.
there. You're like,
Yeah, so that
doesn't
it
sound like
bonds
my
you together. It
relationships.
makes it a really fun activity. And there's no reason, of course, going out and getting dressed up every once in a while is nice, but you can also get dressed up in your own place. Like there's just setting the mood, lighting candles if you want to do it, if you have a little outdoor area. Like it can be such a fun, cute, romantic date night. And it's just so much more special that way, in my opinion.
I love that.
Do you know what I was thinking too while you're talking about that? Other fun things, because we've been recently doing this, is going to, I know not everyone's favorite thing is window shopping, but sometimes going into IKEA or furniture shops or
Yeah.
different types of stores, because I thought about grocery shopping. I love grocery shopping because it's so much fun to pick things out and do that, especially if you're in tune with someone. And it's a good test to see if you're
is.
in tune.
is.
Oh,
Oh, yes. That is a big tester.
Yeah.
Yes.
because then I'm looking at you because I remember a thing or two from.
Yeah. All I will say is that you really learn a lot about someone when you, go grocery shopping.
So
with
grocery
them.
shopping is a good
Yeah.
test. But doing things like that, like, you know, recently we've been furniture shopping and looking at pieces, and it is so much fun to sit in different couches and just imagine. And
How does this feel?
And you can kind of like role play a future too. Like, oh, can't you imagine like
Yeah.
us sitting there reading the newspaper or
With the doggies
looking
next to
at
us.
Reddit? Yeah. And I think that's so much fun is playing. It's kind of like a form of role play, which is also fun and can go in many different directions.
Yeah.
That's right, Lexi.
That's right, Rachel.
I also love doing walks around the neighborhood and talking about like, oh, I love the aesthetic of that house. Which house do you like more? Like that is a whole day in itself. I'm a big proponent of just coffee walks, and you don't need to go to an expensive LA coffee shop to do a coffee walk, which
No, Cosette
I love
makes great
trying.
coffee.
But
Oh,
yeah,
you can stop at
Cosette-
that place
make
first and
great
then
Cosette's
walk.
coffee is the critics have raved.
Yes.
And so just
At
like
Cosette's Cafe.
Yeah.
Is great.
making a coffee and just walking around and pointing out the different houses. We also recently did a color walk, which is where you choose a color and you have to find 10 items of that color, which is
Aw.
just another way to stay present, stay intentional, and the list is endless. But
It
these were
really
just
is.
yeah, these were just some like jumpstart ideas.
One more idea.
Yeah.
I have one after you too.
Okay,
Okay,
great. Like,
let's
look
hear
at
it.
this. Is like the more we talk, the more I'm like, this is easy. Challenges. Like
Ooh.
since, you know, Mr. Wright and I are competitive, I think like everyone can be competitive in different avenues and different things that is like
Yeah.
their jam. And we're kind of competitive. We watch a lot of like food challenges and stuff. So I remember one time we got all the hot sauces from Hot Ones. And we challenged ourselves. We recorded it, and we did that, and it was so much fun. And it was something I think we picked up at Target.
I love
just like looking
that.
at this, like let's go home and do this, and doing that. And you know, I'm just thinking about not even romantically, but like with my mom for around Thanksgiving, we've challenged who would make the best pumpkin pie and who would do the best here. Like maybe it's a race, maybe it's like something obviously that you know you'll have fun with and not
Yeah.
go into possible fight territory.
Oh
But
gosh.
but like that can be a really fun way to engage those like other types of parts of yourselves and
I love
you know
that.
kind of
Yeah.
like be flirty, fun, and competitive with it. And
That is so fun,
Yeah.
and that is so you.
yeah, so I like challenges are a great way to just like card games or any kind of game
Yeah.
is even if it's not one of we love our you know we're
We
not
love our
really
flirty
straight. We
games.
love our
Yes.
flirty games, but you know also other kind of board games that are like
Monopoly Go.
Monopoly Go.
I would like to
That's a-
recommend Monopoly Go. To
that's a great
everyone.
one.
Amazing game.
So.
what was your idea? I love that idea.
Yeah.
Though.
I love it.
Tell us
Oh my gosh.
another.
So this actually happened quite recently, and I think I sent you guys a Snapchat. But
If it not recently.
oh yeah, no, well, a month ago. I've kind of been
okay,
off the
all right.
Snap.
Girl,
But I love
you've been
Snapchat.
MIA.
Please sponsor us, Snapchat. I love you guys.
She will not stop.
Love you, Snapchat. We should eventually make a compilation of me shouting out Snapchat.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's every episode, which is
Snapchat.
wonderful. It's about to come your way.
It is. It is.
Manifesting.
But recently, like probably a month ago, talking about dates inside the house, me and the Bachelor, you know, we were like, oh yeah, like, oh, we should make a fort. And then it came, you know, to the
saw
weekend.
that.
It came to the weekend, and I was like, he's like, okay, we're gonna watch a movie. And he's like, want to make the fort? And I was like, oh my gosh. A, he remembered. B, we executed and we delivered.
Oh,
We
you
literally-
delivered.
Oh,
It was so cute.
It was
Okay.
fantastic. Literally, we have a huge old couch, and we had 2 chairs on each ends, and we had tripods, and we had an umbrella in the middle of the couch. To
Okay,
keep
wait.
it,
Do that action one more time. Well,
this action.
no. Different action, different meaning. Okay. Your fort was incredible.
Yeah.
And I think you just highlighted a really good thing is like going back to childhood roots. Just being playful like that.
was just
Building
gonna say
a
that.
fort
And
watching movies.
Literally, yeah, we built the fort, and it was so cute. And I recorded, and I was like, "You guys, I think this is relationship goals because it was something just like it brought me back memories, and it's like it was a fun moment. We were able to be young and share our silliness together, and it's like, damn,
That
this was
play-
awesome. It didn't even cost us a penny.
I love that.
That's so good. Like I'll pass playgrounds and I'm like, I just want to go swinging. And like remembering when you go
That's
swinging
cute.
and that's so much fun. I don't know if it's like 13 going on 30 vibes because I just want to fall into your arms and kiss you. But you know, it's just a way to like remember when you were a kid and then it brings back that fun young energy that
Absolutely.
you really want. And also when you're a kid, you don't really have money, at least not your own.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just like the point of love on a budget. Is just
I agree. Like healing your
it's
inner
just
child.
like, hey, we don't
It
need money
is.
to like imagine and have fun.
We had fun when we were young.
Let's tune into the imagination.
Let's bring it
Yeah.
back. Mr. Tennis and I did a swing set once, and I fell off and broke a ring, and that's a story for another time.
Oh, no.
But I think that this was just some great jump points to go off of, and there's a lot more we can talk about finance in relationships and how to approach that topic.
Right.
But final takeaway is like love is not about the money; it's about the care, the effort, the time that you put into it, and those are the most important things at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that's the little sentiment we'd like to leave y'all with.
Yep.
We're signing off. This is Cosette.
Lexi.
And Rachel.
Bye.